What is going on, guys? Today we are here with the ranking of all the heroes. So we do have UCL heroes coming out soon. There will be a tier list on them as well. But this is the first one. Icons should come tomorrow, but the heroes most definitely are, I'd say, the more obtainable. But to be honest, the pricing, I feel like even icons, even the lower ones are quite obtainable. Not talking about the top ones, obviously, but in terms of the heroes, we've got a good selection. Some added in, we have 60 in total to go through. Let's get started. So the first one is going to be, I'm going to go from bottom up in terms of what they're on FUTBIN. Alaran is number 1 in here. I've got to find him somewhere. 85 rated, and we can't cast judgment because we remember the upgrade from the World Cup. Well, it was the World Cup heroes, and then we managed to get fantasy into footies, and just naturally, he is always a very good card. I think even the normal heroes version of him of last year was incredible. This year is no different. He's managed to keep hold of that beautiful pace. I don't believe he has any playstyle plus, which is a little bit of a kind of sad one for him. He has got rapid and quick step as the only two. So I do think he's going to be one of them meta ones anyway, but I think that is a big miss out for him. And hopefully as we upgrade, we do see additional playstyles. It's kind of like traits. I hope that they do upgrade them as well, because that could add to a card's value. Whether we see that in evolutions where we put heroes in potentially later on in the game. But at the moment, I'd say Alaran would sit in that. I'm going to go, I'm thinking S+, to be honest. He is a very good price still, so even if you do get him, the price of him is absolutely massive at 625,000. But I do think in terms of the price, there is a lot of good wingers out there for about the same sort of price as well. Next up on the list, though, we are looking at Alex Scott, a new lady addition into FC24. Herself, again, doesn't have a pro, unfortunately, is a right back or a right wing back, coming in at 100,000 coins, 86 pace, 70 on the shooting, 84 defending, 80 physical. Nothing too crazy from her. In terms of right backs, we have definitely seen better. The minimum price is only 10.5, so the fact that she's still 100, you could argue that the game's not out, so technically we've not had the masses opening up packs yet, but there has still been a lot of packs being opened, so the price is kind of filtered at the moment. I don't see a drop in massively until we get a Heroes upgrade or Heroes SBC, or even a glitched Heroes pack would be nice. I'd love that Ginola in tradable. In terms of where I'm going to put it, I'm going to go B as a nice one for it and see where we go from there. We then have Dempsey, and to be honest, I think, do we even have... No, I don't think we have the playstyle pluses on the cards. That'd be really nice to have them on the cards, actually. It would make your life a hell of a lot easier. FC24 is here, and Sky Coach has all your needs covered. From squad battles, champs, qualifications, and even now draft boosting, there is a long list of services they do give, as well as coaching, and also the big one everybody wants in FC24 coins. This service is fast and reliable, and you will get your coins, your boosting services, or obviously coaching in a matter of hours. If you do want to get any of these, make sure you head over to skycoach.gg, go onto the website, and when you go to checkout, make sure that you are using the code JT11 at checkout for your 5% off your orders. And if you'd prefer to do this on mobile, check out the screen right now with the QR code for their mobile app. We then have Clint Dempsey. Nothing too crazy from this card. We know from the start, him and Donovan as a hero are very, very basic in my opinion. They don't really have too much to offer. It's 37,000 coins already. It kind of says all you need from him, really. Maybe a playstyle plus and an addition of some very good MLS players could put him as a squad buffer more than anything. But I think in the MLS, if we're going to get anybody that's going to be worth getting, it would be a forward player, a striker, winger, cam. We're not really too fussed about the defenders, so a hero's defender could have been the better shout. We then have Cahill, again one with a playstyle plus this time. He's got power header, coming in at a whopping 56,000. Again with Cahill, he's kind of that starting striker. He'll kind of give you a little bit, but I don't think he's going to be the be-all and end-all when it comes to it. We've already got a huge amount of player list that can overtake him completely. And I think if you do look at the price tag of 56, I know full well Osimhen is in that price. If you used to go 80k more, you've got Griezmann, you've got Nkunku. They are personally better than what I would say Cahill actually is. So I'd stick him more than likely in the B as well. We then have Crouch. Again, he's one of them ones. I love that they give him the playstyle plus for acrobatics. I think that is as just as you can do. But I remember Heroes Crouch. Until he got the 5'5", the 95 pace, he was useless. Like, genuinely useless. He's kind of that nostalgic card. If we could have got a Hero Defoe as well, that would have been the partnership of dreams. But unfortunately, whilst he is on his own, Crouch, unfortunately, has just got to wait for that upgrade and hopefully get a big 5-star, 90 plus pace, 90 plus everything. We then have Beasley, a new card to the game, a left back, left mid, or left wing. He's coming in at a whopping 126,000. No playstyle plus for him. He's got rapid, quick step, and relentless. In terms of left mid, he's got the pace, which is always good. And again, another addition to the MLS, which I suppose is a nice thing when you come to the Donovan. You've got the Messi there now. There is starting to become almost a little ultimate team that you can make with the MLS. The problem is that it's only a certain rating at the moment. Once we start getting the squad foundations for the MLS, informs maybe out of performance promos, again, whether they do MLS for the out of performance, it would be a big question. I think SBCs are going to be the big one for them. But again, with heroes, adding an extra hero to them is not going to be a bad shout. Unfortunately, not too much on the shooting. Passing's okay. Dribbling's relatively decent. And he is mainly that fast winger. So I'm going to stick with an A with him and kind of see where we go. We then have Ricken, a beautiful 85. He is a cam and he does have a playstyle plus of chip shot, which it's not terrible. He's got a very kind of well-rounded cam sort of card. Not too much on the physical. The defending's okay. Well, in fact, the defending's not okay. The passing's okay. Defending is awful. 56, if that was okay, then Christ, some people are even better. Cahill's a great defender, by the way. But in terms of Ricken, he's 37. Again, it comes to more of a fodder hero more than anything. And I think that's kind of the case with the lower ones. It just naturally is. There's not a lot you can do other than just have him in the team as a starter. That would literally be it. And you'd only pack him because I'm not spending 37k on him. But in terms of the next one, Bompastor. Okay, I'm hoping I got that name right because that could be wrong. 86 left back in the French league for the women. 114k. Again, with the women, it's a hard one to almost decide whether they're worth it or not. I must admit, I have used, I want to say it's Rolfo, but I feel like that is horrendously wrong. But as the Barcelona woman from the in left back from Sweden, impeccable. If you've not checked the review on the channel, go and have a look because she is unreal. So that's the kind of level that I'm looking at. In terms of stats, we've got a similar basis. 80 shooting. We've obviously got 80 on everything else bar from physicality. Could be the kind of clutch point. Can be a left back or left mid as well. I think a solid starter left back, but I'm gonna go B for the moment, and we'll kind of see where we go, and we'll kind of have a rearrange at the end if we need to, because there is a few heroes on here that obviously I've not really become very familiar with, but I do know all of the stats and going forward. Then we have John Arne Riise. Love this card. I cannot believe he's become a hero, but another Norwegian going into a hero now, and it is a left back, left mid, or left wing back. If you can remember him, he was an absolute tank, and I must admit, the stats definitely prove it as well. He has got the power shot as his playstyle plus. As we know full well, that power free kick that he used to have was incredible. I think, I was going to say, he definitely has the long throw trait because that was another thing from him, and he looks a very well-rounded left back, to be honest. 160,000 at the moment, 83 pace, 81 shooting, as well as passing, as well as defending, 80 dribbling, and 86 physicality. It's not bad of a left back. It's not quite my Capdevila, but it definitely will do as a nice starter. And I think the big thing with these is there's 60 heroes that they can upgrade every kind of month, every week, whatever promo they do, which would be incredible because they can do 10 at a time, they could do 15 at a time, and they could just constantly rotate, which just upgrades every single person by the end, which I'm hoping they do, especially now the icons have only got one set. That would be an interesting one to see how they go through with that, as I do think that was a good part last year, and having the fantasies, the foot birthdays, the team of the years, I thought it was a nice addition. Now they've got a double on it. The next one, Smolarek, 86 rated striker, one of the ones that I actually really enjoyed last year. Does have a higher playstyle as press proven, which I think press proven is keeps close control of the ball whilst dribbling at a jog speed and can shield the ball more effectively from stronger opponents. So that actually works really well for him, to be honest. I think that one could be a very good hold-up sort of striker. He has only got 83 on his physicality, 84 strength, but does have a good amount of pace. The only thing that with Smolarek kind of limits him once we don't get the upgrade is he is only a 3-star, which at the start I think S, but then he will slowly drop down as we get more informs, more special cards, because they're going to have 5-star skills, 4-star, 4-star, 5-4, 4-5, and that will always overtake someone because there's a million cards with 91 pace. But whether they've got the skills and all the other stats to back it up, that is where we want to see him. So a great striker to start with, 312,000, but I do think very, very soon he will be overtaken, and you don't realise how quickly they are going to upgrade cards with the masses of male, female cards we've got now. The huge amount of 83s to 88s we've got is crazy, so it's going to be an absolute bloodbath for promos. Let's not get too comfortable with the cards and try and go for the best ones we possibly can. But Park Ji-sung is up next with the Playstyle Plus of Relentless, brilliant for a centre mid role, which he cannot play. He can play left mid, left wing, and also right mid. 182,000, not terrible at all. A very balanced sort of card in the mid. I'm gonna stick at an A for him, just purely for the fact the pace is nice, but then when it comes to the actual shooting or defending, it's very tame on either side. So you're gonna have to go with something like a Hunter, which would turn him into an 85 shooting, but again, it's not going to be what I personally want. I think a box-to-box just needs that little Hullet gang upgrade, and he is absolutely sound. Very much like his fantasy foot last year. Once we got him into that centre mid, the upgrade kind of balanced all the stats out. He turned into a relatively good centre mid card. Now, this is a card that I'm very, very excited to try out. Ramirez. If you've never tried him or never seen him in any FIFA, he was an old Chelsea player back in the day, and most definitely the card looks really good. 4-star, 3-star, which is a bit unfortunate for the weak foot. I'd have even gone 3-star, 4-star just to give him that little bit of an edge. But 88 pace, which is very good for a CDM. He's then got the 84 defending. It's nice. 83 physical, 81 dribbling, 80 passing. What I'm thinking with this card, like the rest, is what's the upgradability of this? We've seen Yaya at 87 still be relevant like 3, 4, 5 months after. Once then they get another card, that is going to be an interesting one to see. In terms of chemistry star, people are obviously going with the anchor, and that will make him still controlled, and it will give him 92 pace, 90 defending, and 89 physical. That is going to be a very, very good CDM that is currently coming in at 1.2 million coins, which is just crazy in itself. Al Jabba next. Again, another little playstyle plus with his finesse shot. We saw it on Griezmann today, and most definitely a decent one to have, but I must admit, judging from where I'm trying finesse shots outside of the box, they're not quite as impactful as last year's starting finesse shots. So it'll be interesting to see if they do get boosted or nerfed. Either way, whatever the gameplay does go, as normally we do find something's a little bit more broken than the other. They go and change it, something else gets better, and hopefully the finesse shots do get there. Inside the box, not a problem. He is going to be a cold finisher, but I think he's only a B at the moment, and as we kind of go forward, he makes it into that C very, very quickly. Next up is Ledley King. Now, one that we didn't actually have last year until it felt like halfway through. An 86 rated centre-back, 80 pace, 89 defending, 80 physical. Pretty standard for a centre-back. Agility balance, again, is again pretty standard. We go with the shadow. What does that make him? We keep him mostly lengthy. Yes, we keep him mostly lengthy, 96 defending, 88 pace. It's not terrible. 91 centre-back overall. That's not awful. I think that, for me, deserves into the S at the moment. He's currently coming in at 294, which I think is respectable. We are thinking or comparing to the likes of a Lucio centre-back, which, again, is going to be absolutely insane as normal. But I do think he most definitely has a potential. Now he's in the game from the start. He had no shot last year from being in when we already had... I don't know if we already had promo heroes yet, or we were very close to, which just completely brushed him out of the game. And then we only got him as... Did we only get him as a... I think we only got him as a loan as well. I don't know if it was actually packable, but we did get a free version of him. We then have Dudek. One that I'm still kind of and ahhing with. I do think he's an okay keeper at the start and definitely does kind of really go downhill very quickly, especially with the informs. The only kind of God bless him with informs for keepers is there's normally only one keeper in Team of the Week. And as we see from other promos, we don't really tend to get many. So he does keep that value at some point. It's personally Campos for me that it just will never work for him. And I don't know where his sheet is, but Campos for me is one of them ones that is just far too short in net. I really want to try. I think there's like a 5'5" woman goalkeeper. I'm interested to see, does the lobbing technique still get you there? We saw it with Walker last year in Shapeshifters, and he's about 5'10", 5'11". He might even be over 6 foot, but he was just getting lobbed left, right, and centre. That's the same as Campos. I just don't see how it works. Whereas at least with Dudek, he's 6'2" and can do a little bit of a job at the very minimum. We then have Govou, 419,000 coins, absolutely incredible. He is a 4-star, 3-star, so again, a little bit better than Smolarek in my opinion. Does have a playstyle plus as a power shot. If you've not used that, that is definitely a playstyle plus to look at. Basically, it just reduces the amount of time that you take to do the power shot. Another player in gold form, still quite expensive, is Rashford. And it's not quite instant, but it definitely is a hell of a lot quicker if you've tried it. And if you can get in that position where a power shot happens and you're very accurate with it, it could be a good game changer. The only issue I find, every time I'm going through, there is normally a defender there. So you've got to go away from the AI blocking or hit and hope outside the edge of the box, and maybe it pings to somebody. But I think when it comes to goals, everybody's about that 90+% of it going in. Nobody wants to just hit random shots, especially when you do get into the topper end where people make you pay for losing possession. So it is an interesting one to start with, especially against the less defensive able people, but it will lose its kind of almost its new shininess very quickly. Now, my favourite left back from last year in Capdevila. This guy is always incredible. I must admit the hero doesn't look amazing to start with, but I do think he will grow into it. Normally we saw it from his World Cup version. He just leveled up overnight. In terms of his now though, we've not got no playstyle plus on him. 84 pace, which can be upgraded. We've got 85 defending, 80 physical. We then have 79 dribbling with 86 composure, which is, again, definitely nice to see. People are going for the shadow with him, which keeps him controlled lengthy, which is always a nice one. 92 pace, 91 defending, turns him into an 89 overall left back. I think that's a top spot in my opinion. When it comes to Capdevila, it was mainly the pace that really got upgraded from him, and then we'd gone into the 5-5, the stupidness into the footies where everybody's just unbelievable and you can pick whatever team you'd like. But at the start, you've got to be calculated. He is, a whopping 200,000 at the moment. I can see him dropping quite quickly, but also I think people are going to realise that the left backs, there's only a set amount that are actually worth having in the team. Your Mendes, your Theo Hernandez, your Davies, your Rolfos. That's going to be the interesting part, but I always like Capdevila's in-game. He works absolutely perfect. Dirk Kuyt next. Again, one that is just there in my opinion. He's a 3-star, Eredivisie on this one as well, so doesn't even get the Premier League or anything like that. And in terms of stats, we've got nice shooting, so I do think it keeps him away from the sea for right now. Whether I'd say he's worth it, I think the 3-3 for me is a big downgrade for him at the very minimum. There's so many cams out there that you can get cheaper, they're higher rated, they have better stats, or at least the same stats, but also are a 5-star, 4-star at least, or a 4-4 at least. It does add value to them. So for me, I could, if he had a 4-star skill move at least, or a weak foot, I could maybe push him to the A. But for now, I'm going to keep him with B, as I do think he just turns into a fodder player far too quickly. We then have one that I really didn't think that he would get one. We have Tomas Rosicky, 86 rated cam, a 4-star, 3-star this time at least. Doesn't have the shooting that Kuyt has, unfortunately, but he does have some good passing and also dribbling, which is a good bonus for a cam. So in terms of chem star, we're obviously going to go with the Hunter. That is just an easy one. We need that shooting bonus. We've got 86 on the passing, which is more than enough for the start. 88 dribbling, fine. We end up with 91 pace and 87 shooting alongside that 4-star, 3-star. For me, I think that is pretty good. 85 on the agility, 86 balance. That's a nice card to start with. And again, one that we need to keep eyes on for the future. Then we have Mostovoi, I want to say. It's the Russian cam from the La Liga. Very easily gone into the fodder category. A 4-star, 5-star though does hold him in good stead because he's 73,000 coins. Definitely needs a hunter at the very minimum, as literally has 78 shooting or 78 pace to start with. That is far too low to start with. So the hunter gives him up to that 86. We then get 89 on the shooting. Already good dribbling. Little bit of physicality. Nothing too crazy. And the 86 passing, which to start with is going to be nice with that 5-star weak foot. Quick, nice and precise. And he does have the technical playstyle plus, which if you're walking and hold RB, just give it a go and have a try, because at the minute it's slightly broken unless that is what they want you to do, because it is very, very quick, and I just don't believe that it should be. On to the final MLS player other than Campos, I think. I don't know if there's any other additions, actually. Just taking a quick scan, I think he's the last one in the MLS. By the looks of it, he is. It is Donovan. 86 rated centre forward, is a 4-4. 119k at the moment. I think he's pretty standard. Very much like a lot of these kind of lower end tier heroes. Eventually they do hit rock bottom and they need upgrading before they can ever become useful again. And what you find is they just wait too long with them. And I'm hoping this year that's not the case. Even if they went to upgrade the lower of the low first and then started, maybe threw in 1 or 2 of the top guys and then just kept doing the low ones and add in the top ones every now and then, I think that would make it well worked, because the whole point of the Ultimate Team is to make it so everybody's usable within reason. You can't physically make over 1,000 cards usable at the same time, but heroes should be relatively usable. They are meant to be specials, and unfortunately a lot of them are only used for objective builders, really. That's about it. We then have Freddie Ljungberg, 86 rated left mid. Nothing too crazy from the card. Again, 91k, 87 on the pace, 81 shooting. No playstyle plus, unfortunately, again. I think very standard. In terms of a winger, I don't see really too much going his way. He is a 4-4, which I suppose adds a little bit of value and can be right mid as well. I think that's going to be the big one with the position changes, is how many can he has? Is it one spot? Is it just a left mid, left wing? Or can he go on the right, a striker, a cam? It does add some value when it comes to building a squad, because there may be an incredible left wing that you need, but you can't put him at right mid, and that is where more usability does happen. I think standard at a B, but I'm thinking low B to start with, and then potentially could get upgraded to go even higher. Onto a new card, and again another one here that it looks all right. I mean, he's not going to be the most fantastic one in the world, but it's going to be Kanu, a lovely centre forward, 86 rated with a free. 56,000 coins tells you all you need to know. Of any new card that comes in at a low price, it means people are really not bothered with him. Now, 79 pace, 85 shooting. For me, that's not good enough, especially when he doesn't have a weak foot, a playstyle plus. It's another bottom card, really. There's no real actual urgency to get him. In terms of a hunter, we add up to 87 pace, 91 shooting, which again isn't awful, but he's 6'5", so he's going to be a big unit. I think personally he's going to be very much like Crouch and just kind of be there. He's not necessarily going to do too much, but could be upgraded to make him more usable. 6'5" is not out of the ordinary for a very good striker. For instance, Haaland has that build, but he does need that pace absolutely pronto. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer though, 79,000 with him. Nothing too crazy again. He's a 3-star, 4-star. With him, I think he's got a lot of shooting, but other than that, it's the dribbling with the agility. Balance is a little bit lower. We haven't got no strength. Pace is decent. 85 is never going to be one that I turn down. Hunter is obviously the place to go for him as well. Does keep him mostly explosive from the acceleration type, with 93 pace, 93 shooting. It's not bad, but I do think that he is going to be just bottomed out very quickly. We then have Giuly, a new right mid, French, 86 rated. He's currently coming in at 180,000 coins. Playstyle plus is going to be acrobatics as well. Does have, well, technically 6 or 7 playstyles, including the plus. Finesse shot, whipped pass, technical flair, quick step, and relentless. It's not a terrible shout, to be honest. Can be what could it be? Right mid, right wing, so standard on his positioning. 180 at the moment, and he is a 4'4", 88 pace, 83 shooting, 85 dribbling. It's definitely not a bad introduction of a card. I think definitely if we're looking at someone like him, he could really put in a shift, especially if we was to go with all-out pace for him, keep him on that hunter, which would keep him explosive. It would give him 96 pace, 89 shooting. That's not a terrible one. The thing is, though, I swear, so it does change. So when you have a hunter on him, he only stays 86 overall on right wing with 89 shooting, 96 pace. I think that is a little bit lower. I think if I was going for being very lenient, I'd be looking into the I think S. Or do I go S? I think S. Most definitely when I'm looking at him, he's got the potential to go up there. Whether he does kind of fall down quickly, it depends on how many informs and specials. We've got the road to the knockout, I believe, to start with. Whether we see a lot of more affordable cards at that point, or he does drop in price, would determine where he kind of finishes off there. And then I have Robbie Keane, 370,000. He is just a weird striker in my eyes. He has got the Playstyle Plus for chip shot, obviously. But in terms of him, he just manages to get through. And I really don't know how. He's got 87 pace, 88 shooting. He is a 4'4", which is always nice. I felt like he deserved a little bit more strength. 71 seems very low for him. I thought he was quite a physical player. I know they are just picking a pinpoint average here. This is not like his highest rated card ever or his lowest. It's just a random 86. If anything, I don't think they really reflect too much, because at the minute we only have an 89 as the highest hero. That doesn't make sense in terms of what we've actually got in front of us. Lucio was way higher than that pretty much most years. So we know full well this is just a base rating to then upgrade on. But I do think with Keane, he definitely puts himself in the S. But he's like Tim Cahill in my opinion, where he will drop quite quickly just because the strikers that we get, that is the most favoured position to actually release. If you're looking at reviews, SBCs, or anything, strikers are the ones that will always do the best, as they're the ones that get you the goals most of the time. Then we move into Steve McManaman. I really don't know how, but he's 87 rated at 144,000 coins. Good pace, shooting is lacking, very much a crosser of the ball more than anything. Doesn't have a playstyle plus for this card, but what did I say, 150,000. Decent dribbling, nothing too crazy on his agility balance, 82 and 70, so could put him in that lower category, but 150 is mainly because he is a new hero, and that's normally what we see with new cards, especially if they look semi-usable. They tend to be an extra little bit of price just because nobody's played with them yet, but I do think he's probably more A than anything. Then we move on to Harry Kewell, and I love Harry Kewell. He was the first hero from last year we did. I loved his footies, loved his fantasy foot, and again we go back to the normal heroes at an 87 left wing, left mid, or cam. 300,000 coins, 90 on the pace, 85 shooting. We have got power shot as the play style as well. That could be useful on that wing, because when you're cutting in, you might have that opening where the defender's gone one way, you've gone the other, and with the power shot plus being able to do it quicker, that could get the shot off. He is left-footed as well, so if you wanted to switch wings in-game, then he could do that also. But he's an easy S in my opinion. I think when it comes to the S+, we are very close between the S and the S+. It is just personal favourites. We then have Brolin, another one from Smolarek. You have Papin, you have Brolin, and you also have, who was the other striker, Govou. They all come in as the same sort of striker. They've got a 4-star, 3-star, or 3-3. They've got decent pace, decent shooting, but then they just fall behind the waistline because we needed a promo to upgrade them on the ability of strikers. Like we said with Robbie Keane, we get a lot of strikers. That is going to be the predominant position that we get. It's normally strikers, wingers, then it kind of goes either centre-backs or centre-mids, then full-backs, and the last one's goalkeepers, which is hilarious that we used to get a goalkeeper every promo. But when it comes to these strikers, I feel like they are good to start with. He's coming in at 235, which is always nice. Last year, he really was not effective, purely for the fact Lengthy was completely broken. Once that got fixed, he definitely came out a little bit better, and most definitely had a few better games for me, as I managed to get his hero as the very first hero upgrade pack, and then we got the World Cup straight away as well. So it was just a Brolin sort of time, and I do think he is definitely an S striker and will drop down as we go into the next few promos. Nakata is the next one for the first page now. We've obviously got this at 103,000 coins for the Japanese Serie A star. 4-4, which is always good. Doesn't have a Playstyle Plus, which is going to be the be-all and end-all. Like I said, hopefully with upgrades, they do get a Playstyle Plus added, or can be added, because I think that is going to be a very big part of the game once we get the top end sort of out of the way. Once we're away from the starter squads of 10 to 20k a position and you're looking 100 and above per position, that's going to be the things that sets everybody aside, and most definitely the best will go through there. I'm going to stick a B at the moment. I do think in terms of the stats, they're good, but 103,000 is a big price tag for just good. So let's get rid of some of the best ones that we already know. S+, we know Abide Pele is 100% there. If you've played FIFA before, these are the cards that are the best of the best from last year. We still will look at a few of the others because Tevez is a new one, Kompany is a new one. We know Janola's incredible, 5'5", 89 rated. He's at 3.1 mil. I think that says it all. Yaya Toure was, even his hero card was like $1.5 million after his World Cup, and we were going into the next promo, and well, I'm talking like 5 months later, and he still was 1 million coins. Yaya's just the hero version of a Hullet gang. A Vieira, Yaya, Hullet in the midfield is disgusting. Lucio will still be the same. I've got no doubt on that. He's currently coming in at 1.4, which again is a massive price tag for him. In terms of anybody else that's top of the top, I think Okocha could be there as well. What is he coming in at? He is a whopping, if I can find him on the list, 600,000. He's a 5-star, 4-star still, which is absolutely fine. We know full well he's a very, very good card going forward. Schneider is one that I have reviewed on the channel already, so go check that one out. I really like Schneider. I thought he was a very good card. I think he's already lined up to get a UCL hero. I think that could be the next step up for him, because I do think he just needs that little bit of a boost. The 88 rated is nice, but he's very passing orientated. I need a little bit of pace and shooting as well, alongside the Hunter obviously, to be able to just take him to that next level. Make him almost that finisher and passer at the same time, and you've got a double threat from him. If we look at the rest, Cordoba's an S+ easily. What sort of price is he now? What is he? 87 rated. He's coming in at 480, 86 pace on the base. Beautiful centre back. The only thing that always Cordoba has that is kind of annoying at times is that he's only 5'8", and Cannavaro proves the impossible theory that the defenders have to be over 6'3", but it's always nice for the physical battle, especially when it comes to heading, that you kind of need him there. The question that I'm asking actually, does he have the aerial? Of course he does. He's got the Playstyle Plus in it, so he should be absolutely fine this game. Other than that, we've got Joe Cole. I want to have a look at him. Di Natale is easily S+. Di Natale is one of my favourite strikers, especially from back in the day. 1.2 mil. It's a standard. What's his Playstyle Plus, actually? He's got... Is that Finesse Shot by any chance? Of course it is. We've got Forlan, Gomez, new player, Collier... Litmanen, who's new technically into the heroes, but I can't imagine he's too new. Morientes, I think that is all. To be fair, Voller is going to be impeccable. 89 rated, he's 750,000. Again with him, falls into the same trap of obviously the Smolareks, the Brolins, a 3-star, 4-star. Good that he's got the weak foot, bad that he hasn't got the skill moves. He does have the Playstyle Plus as chip shot as well. I think that one's going to be a hard one depending on how many chip shots we actually have to do, because at the minute, however many games I'm in, I don't think I've scored that many. I mainly go around the keeper, but it kind of, if you do go around the keeper, it makes the chip shot almost obsolete a little bit. Then I think that is it. Oh, Marquisio. I'm leaving Marquisio out of this list of top of last year. 750,000. Yeah, he's easily going in. No Playstyle Plus though. That is very... I thought he'd have one, to be honest. Now we have a few of the lower ones that we're used to, and also a lot of the new ones, which is going to be the big one. We're going to start with Papin, because I do think he's one of them strikers like the others. He is a 3-star, 4-star, 160, so nothing too crazy there, but he does have some very good finishing on him with a 93 on the shooting. That is definitely nothing to be laughed at. In terms of playstyle, plus if he has one, he has got power shot as well. Where on earth did I just see him? I've lost him. Where is he? Oh, there he is. He's going to be in the S. I feel like he's kind of in that group that really just dropped down. Like I say, they dropped down after a little bit, just purely for the fact that there is so many strikers. Then we move on to some of the new ones as well. Morientes, the first one that we're going to go for, 181,000. Playstyle plus for the power header. Could work quite well in his favour, to be honest. He's 6'1", so a very good height for him. He is currently here with 90 shooting, 84 pace. You're going to go with the Hunter, surely? Or they're going Hawk, in fact. Okay. Hawk will give you 88 pace, 96 shooting, 90 physical. Yeah, I could see it. I know the Hunters, it's because mainly they don't want to max out that shooting, which makes sense, but I think having that extra pace, 92 on the pace, 95 shooting, that could do much more of a service than going kind of the other way with the Hawk, in my opinion anyway. We then have Milito, a solid striker, nothing too crazy in my opinion. He was alright. Again, I want to say the first hero that I actually reviewed on the channel, obviously. He is currently coming in. I know he was quite cheap when I bought him. 75,000 coins. Kind of tells you all you need to know. Mascherano, on the other hand, another one that I did yesterday. 88 rated centre-back. Can play CDM as well. So he's got that ability to have them two positions that are away from each other, a defender or a midfielder, depending on what you need. I personally like him as the midfielder. He works better. He has the slide tackle plus as well. For me, I think he's kind of in that S. Oh, no. Am I thinking... see, he's in a hard one, because in terms of if I'm looking at centre-back, I'd go A. If I'm looking at CDM, I think he's on the cusp of an S. I'm going to go A. I feel like S is probably just a little bit out of his range, in my opinion, but I do think he's a nice starter. Nothing crazy going forward, but definitely a starter at best. Now let's get Campos out of the way. 5'7", 85,000. That's all I had to say. Then we have Joe Cole. He's one that I've got that I need to do the review on. 330,000 coins this time. A 4-4 with the technical playstyle plus. That's an interesting one nonetheless. If you've ever checked that out, have a look on the second channel, because we have got what the technical dribbling actually is and how to use it. But 87 rated, 330,000. He's got a good base stats to keep him forward. Marquez, one of the better fantasy foots that we got actually. Once we started with him, he was very standard, but he definitely got better with his time, which is always nice. And most definitely, as we go forward with centre-backs, he just adds that solidness. He's not necessarily your pacey centre-back, but as a defensive ability, a defensive tackler, he is incredible at it. I think for right now, if I was looking at him, has he got a playstyle plus that really adds to that value? We've got slide tackle, dead ball, long ball pass, block, and aerial. 90 on the defending, 88 physical. That's going to be a good centre-back to start with. And then, like we say with a lot of these, they will drop down very quickly. I think after the first month, I could probably see him in A. 2 months without an upgrade, he's definitely going into the B. We're going to get good centre-backs. And most definitely, there already is a solid amount as well. And I think, if we got anybody else, we've got Ricardo Calvoia, very, very similar in terms of his aspect. I'm going to put him next to him, purely for the fact they are literally the same sort of player. Not the paciest, great defensive ability, have some good physicals, but they will drop down very quickly because the pace will always win. It's just natural when you've got someone like a Tomore with 80 plus pace that could be upgraded tomorrow or could be upgraded on a promo day. That is always going to take precedent over these sort of heroes. Then we have Gomez. Gomez is a funny one because I do think if he is lengthy, which I think he should be, he is lengthy, he's mostly lengthy, controlled lengthy with an engine. Anchor gives him lengthy all the time. I think if he was to go with a engine on him, that would give him controlled lengthy, which I think would be the better shout. And engine is technically one of the half votes there, so that makes sense for him. Currently 99,000. He is a 3-star, 4-star. 90 on the shooting. I mean, it's not terrible, but he's not necessarily going to be the be-all and end-all of strikers. Let's be real. I'd much rather choose a Govou or a Smolarek over Gomez any day of the week, personally, because of my play style. Again, you could be different. He could be your holding up striker that you desperately need. Then I think everybody else is technically new, bar from Forlan. Every time I say that. And Cola. So we've got 2 of them left. Then we've got all new. Forlan is always going to be in that S at the very minimum. I want to see what his playstyle plus is. He's 380,000 coins. He has power shot as his playstyle plus. That is going to be impeccable to go with. We're going to go Hunter with him, which keeps him controlled explosive, which is always nice, or controlled. No, controlled explosive with 94 pace, 96 shooting. Wow. Yeah, he's definitely going in that S+. And then finally, Cole, literally a carbon copy of Marquez, a carbon copy of, obviously, Ricardo Carvalho as well. Defensive, physical, incredible. Pace, not so much. Will drop down very quickly. But what is his price? Just to tell you, he's 89 rated. So, technically the joint highest hero, 103k. It kind of says it all, really. And then we have the new cards. So, the first one we're going to go with, because I'm interested to see what they've done with him, is going to be Vincent Kompany. 960,000 coins. This could be a great card going forward. We know full well what Kompany is about, as he's one of the most recent retirees. I know it's been quite a while and he's managing teams now, but I feel like a lot of people have grown up with Kompany. He's been in the game from... When was his last generation card, in fact? Oh, the page is broken, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't too long ago, to be honest. 88 rated, 80 pace, which is good. 90 defending, 86 physical. I feel like we've got ourselves another Lucio on hand here. He's 6'3", so a big old unit. And most definitely, the thing that I'm personally really wanting to try out has got to be Carlos Tevez. If I can find him here. He is, or looks... amazing, genuinely amazing. And if he plays how I think he should, he's 760,000 coins, or 800 now, in fact. Only a 4-3, which is a bit of a problem going forward, but I could see the upgrade on him. 88 rated, he looks like he should be amazing. He's got the 85 pace, which can be upgraded, 89 shooting, 87 strength and 91 aggression, which would be incredible. He's 5'7", so agility balance is decent. You can easily go with the engine with him to increase that, getting a bit more pace as well. I can imagine a lot of people are just choosing outright Hunter, but you've got to think a bit smarter with him. Because he's only got 82 on the agility, 83 balance, upgrading that could really put him in a next level. When you're going for that left stick dribbling, 5'7", he's going to have that ability. And another Prem striker to go with, Berbatov. I'm interested with him because he could have a very good card or a very bad card, because he is very much like how I always describe it. The easiest one to describe this with is Muller. In-game is, well, in real life, is incredible. He knows the game, he's very intelligent with what he does, but in FIFA his stats don't line up. Berbatov is the same. Pace-wise, non-existent. He just made the ball work for him. Touch was incredible. Shooting was fire. But the pace is the big one. That is what really defines a good player in FIFA, because that's what you need. It's just how the game is built up. But if you can use Berba the way that you should, which, of course, he has the playstyle plus of a first touch, which is going to be perfect. But he does not have the 5-star skills. How? They have named a skill after him. He's got the Berba spin. That should mean he automatically gets the 5-star skills and would add a new dimension to him. I'm going to give him benefit of the doubt for an S, but I definitely can see him dropping down. With a player like this, it's so hard to get right when you've got so many other factors of what defenders can do, other strikers that are less than 130,000 that can do more. It just is one of them things, unfortunately, but I really think he should be a top-end sort of striker, but the pace will always let him down in these positions. Now, in terms of Rui Costa and Litmanen, to be honest, both of them are relatively around their icon price. Rui Costa's at 100, Litmanen's at 60,000. Litmanen, again, with a playstyle plus first touch as well, which is not bad. 3-star, 4-star. Unfortunately for Litmanen, he's going to be bottom of bottom again. In terms of icons, he was about the same. I just don't see anything good coming from him. He is just a standard pack filler, if anything. Rui Costa, on the other hand, to start with, is a decent cam. He's a 4-4, may not have the most amazing pace, but most definitely makes up with the passing, the dribbling. His close control always works to start with. So I'm going to stick him in the A, and again, he is like the rest. He will drop down naturally. It's normally once we get to a prime, then into a prime moments, or did he get a team of the year? Was he a FUT birthday? It was one of them, or might have been at the end. He manages to kind of claw a little bit back. Getting a 5-star skill or a 5-star weak foot could help him. But to start with, he's just a good cam. If you've got him packed, you're going to play him in your team. He's not going to hinder your team if you do manage to get him. And then we're on to the final 4. Now, these look actually relatively decent. So let's have a look. So Keebler to start with. I want to say, I don't know if it's a brother, a dad, or whatever, but there was, and again, it's mainly because of the accent on the B, was a player with the same one, so I'm wondering, and I want to say he was a striker. He was German in, I want to say Leverkusen at one point, or Wolfsburg. Let me know if you are a German fan. Is there any relation there? But she is a centre mid with relatively good stats again. We could go 210k, and we could easily go with a shadow or an anchor to really make her into a box-to-box. She's a 4-star, 3-star. Anchor would keep her controlled, which would give her 85 pace, 84 defending, and 82 physical, keeping the 85 shooting, as well as the 88 passing. Or if we was to go outright with a shadow, we could go with the 89 pace and 85 defending. Still keeps everything else, but we have 77 physicality. And she can be a cam as well, so you could argue that instead of making her a box-to-box, you just go all out with the Hunter instead, and you'd end up with the same pace of 89, but 91 shooting. I mean, it's definitely not a bad card to start with, so an interesting one to keep an eye out. Then we also have Paulo Future. I don't know if it was De Santos Future. I personally don't remember him too much. I know the name, but I definitely don't remember him in FIFA. Again, I feel like he had an icon card, but I think I could just be making that one up, to be honest. 600,000 coins, give or take. Left wing, right wing, left mid, or striker. With a 4-star, 3-star, so room for improvement. Does have a playstyle plus of technical, which is always nice. And most definitely the stats are decent for a winger. 93 on the pace, 93 on the dribbling. 81 shooting could do with some work. But again, you could easily go with Deadeye. You go with a finisher if you really wanted to. I just think with the passing only being 80, you could really benefit from that Deadeye. Again, 88 shooting and 86 on the passing. Again, one that is there for the future that could be a nice upgrade. Then we have Lazarizu. Oh, God, I feel like I'm going to butcher a lot of these names. A left back or left wing back, left back, 260,000, French in the Bundesliga. Could he rival Capdevila? He's technically more priced than him, 87 on the pace. 3-star, 3-star, which is fine for a left back. I'm not too fussed on that. 83 defending, 82 physical. If we was to put him next to Capdevila, I think he was one of the first ones, wasn't he? He was there. We've got the comparison of more pace on him. We've got, to be honest, let's zoom in one more. We've got 83 on the defending, 85, 82 physical to 80. Very, very similar. So it's an interesting one to see who gets the benefit, basically, because normally it is Capdevila's only hero card, really. We're kind of then going against a Forlan Mendy, we're going against an Ashley Cole, a Roberto Carlos, so there is no normal hero comparison other than this one now. And then finally we have Vialli, I think how you pronounce his name, 89 rated striker, 3-4, unfortunately. Really hoping a Luca Toni or an Adriano does come in as a hero, as I do think they are due a hero, most definitely. Especially if someone like Rosicki's getting in there. I think Adriano, with more of a name than anything, could deserve a Serie A striker hero. But he is coming in at a whopping 150,000. Good shooting, pace is decent at 5'11", good amount of strength. He has a potential, a very big potential. I'm going to stick him in S to start with and kind of see where he goes. And that is going to be all of my heroes. So let's zoom in a little bit more so you can see. We'll drop down. These are what I'm considering the better ones. As we go in, a lot of these could drop very quickly. And most definitely use this intelligence of, if you watch this video in a month's time, they will change. Like a lot of these players, Berbatov could be in a C by then. We could see then all of the centre-backs that we've put in, they could be non-existent. And most definitely we could see everybody drop down all the way into the C where they just are not really usable. That's going to be my list. Let me know if you've used any. Peace.